Hello and welcome to our garden at Dirt Cheap Plants. I'll take you for a winter walk round. We've recently just had the heavy snow for a day or so, and I'll show you how things are going. So all the bamboo was all hanging down obviously in the snow, so customers can get past and have a good walk round. We had to trim quite a bit off. Phoenix Canary, only because it's got quite a good trunk, has done really good this winter. Sometimes they can get a little bit brown on the edges, but it's nothing to worry about, just a bit of a trim and a tidy up. Pines are looking fantastic. I have read that some people find fancier spider's web not so hardy in the winter, but I've never had a problem. Mine in the garden's fine, and these are fine in here. So this is a big Trachycarpus fortunei that's done fantastic. We do tend to keep the SEO Palms under cover, so we have the lush green all year round. If the leaves do go a little bit white and yellow like this, you can always peel the odd one off, and then as the whole thing goes yellow or white, then you can trim it. Make sure you trim it a couple of inches away from the stem, from the trunk, so as it can get that nice fat trunk as it grows. So this is the back garden. I'm not clearing anything away, it's way too early. It's February, and in this area there is gingers, cannas, African agapanthus, colocacia, goligalantes, colocacia, pink china in this area, Shefrila taiwaniana, and some other bits that have done really good in the winter. Cast iron plants are always a good filler. There's some variegated ones further down. So this is our Tetr Panics Rex. It stands about 5.5 to 6 foot tall. It's got new growth on it, but this won't open because of the weather, but it's still fighting. This is that huge, it's 8 foot plus, and you can't get past it hardly in the summer, but this is what they look like in the winter. This has got Mustius Bengal tiger all wrapped up in it. Some people report that it's not as hardy as the Mustius, but from my experience, and I think Yorkshire Chris has one in his garden, it's as hardy as the Mustius for me in Yorkshire. Shefrila rhododendronifolia, done absolutely fantastic, lots of new growth in the winter. Pond looking quite sad this time of year. So at the back, this pink twiggy thing, that is actually a red flamingo acer, which is the only acer that I've had that does fantastic in the sun. I've got one hiding somewhere, I think it's behind the Mustius. Behind the Mustius, it always gets affected by the wind and the sun. It's always scorched, so I've hard trimmed it back, but that one does fantastic. There is yellow lotus bananas in that pile, and giant cannas at the back, canna mustifolia. More Shefrilas that have done fantastic. I think there's a Shefrila devillani down here as well. Yes, there is. Ferns, I will hog cut the ferns back in spring. That is a Princeps palm that's doing fantastic. See, it's only tiny. Right, so the tree ferns. This one, I trimmed it back the other day just so customers can walk past because it was in the way. Because of all the snow we had, the branches start to fall down, and then as they go brown and tatty, then you can trim them off after the last frost in autumn when you take the filling, the straw out of the top. Fatsia japonica, an evergreen plant, fantastic, gets 2.5 meters to 3 meters high, 2 meters wide. Fantastic evergreen plant. So queen palm, it's got a heated cable around it. It could have done with more wrapping at the top, but believe me, this palm's seen a lot worse. Like last year when the other heated cable malfunctioned and it actually set the tree on fire. You can still see some scorch parts. And in this heap, this is all what I trimmed off yesterday off the tree fern. It's got the gunner underneath it. It's got gunner manicarta underneath it. And it's got some Rogerisa underneath it. And lots of ferns. And all the persicaras died down as well, which I find is a good filler. I did put an Himalayan weeping pine at the back, because I'm going to keep trimming the trunk. And I'm going to have that as a canopy over this area because it's quite exposed. Vivac Bamboo. I've only put it in a giant pot, but we had to tie that up because of the recent storms that we've had. Right, Mimosa de Bolter. I have read that it's only hardy to -5, but in my garden last year it saw -8, -9. And now it must be 15 foot high. It's just coming into flower. Fantastic canopy plant. What me and my husband will do, we will be pulling it down and tying it to the mimosa, which has pink flowers on, to make like a branch canopy. But that one's not evergreen, whereas this one is, and we will trim the top so as to keep it low down so it doesn't get too high and to encourage it to grow how we want it to.